Aarohi had always dreamed of joining the National Service Academy, a place known for producing the best minds and strongest leaders in the country. Coming from a small town where opportunities were scarce and expectations even lower, she worked tirelessly for years to pass the entrance exams. Her village considered her ambition foolish, and even her extended family quietly doubted her abilities. But her mother always believed in her. "Let them talk," she would say. "Prove them wrong." On the first day at the academy, surrounded by tall buildings and cadets from prestigious schools, Aarohi felt the weight of every stare. She wore second-hand boots and a stitched-up uniform, and it didn't go unnoticed. Whispers followed her in the mess hall. "Who let the village girl in?" one cadet sneered. In physical drills, she stumbled. In group challenges, she was often the last picked. The instructors didn't hold back either. One sergeant muttered, "Some people just aren't cut out for this," while looking straight at her. The weeks dragged on, and so did the ridicule. Aarohi failed several early assessments. One team leader refused to include her in strategic planning exercises, saying, "She slows us down." Another cadet mocked her during weapons training when she missed 3 targets in a row. "You sure you belong here?" he asked with a smug grin. Aarohi kept her head down and her mind focused. Every night, when others slept, she reviewed field manuals under her blanket. She practiced mental simulations, improving little by little. What her peers didn't see were the hours she spent perfecting each movement, her constant attempts to do one more push-up, to run one more lap. She listened more than she spoke, quietly learning from others' mistakes. Her bunkmate, at first skeptical, began to notice the change. "You're tougher than you look," she admitted one evening. By the midpoint of the program, Aarohi had become a quiet force. She wasn't the best, not yet, but she was no longer the worst. Some began to notice her improved stamina, her calm under pressure, and her uncanny ability to solve problems creatively. During a high-stakes simulation that involved rescuing hostages in a virtual conflict zone, most cadets chose aggression. Aarohi, however, mapped a route using psychological profiling and negotiation tactics she'd studied in her off hours. Her strategy resulted in 0 casualties and a successful extraction. Even the instructors were surprised. One of them called it the most effective non-combat approach they'd seen in years. Still, some doubted her. "One fluke doesn't make a leader," one critic said. But her reputation was slowly shifting. The call came during a morning drill. Aarohi had just completed a grueling obstacle course, breathless but victorious over her previous time. An officer approached her in front of the entire squad and said, "Cadet Aarohi, you've been summoned to Command HQ." Confused and nervous, she followed him. Minutes later, in a quiet, high-security room, a large monitor flickered on. The president appeared, smiling warmly. "Aarohi, I've been reading about your progress. I wanted to speak to you directly." Aarohi blinked, stunned. The president continued, "Your analytical work during simulations, your creative approach to problems, and your persistence have caught the attention of our intelligence teams. We believe you have potential beyond what this training measures." Aarohi managed to quiet. "Thank you, sir. Keep going," he said. "We'll be watching." News of the call spread like wildfire. The cadets who once mocked her were speechless. Instructors who ignored her began to offer guidance. Some tried to befriend her. But Aarohi didn't let the attention distract her. In the final weeks of training, Aarohi led a mixed-skill team in a complex exercise combining tactics, diplomacy, and endurance. Her leadership brought out the best in others, even those who had once mocked her. They completed the mission with efficiency and empathy, receiving the highest score ever recorded for that module. At the graduation ceremony, her name was called last reserve for the cadet of distinction. As she walked across the stage, the auditorium stood in applause. Her mother, sitting in the front row with tearful pride, clutched a medal bearing her daughter's name. The same people who had called her useless now looked to her with respect. Aarohi had not only survived the academy, She had redefined what it meant to lead.